Are you suspecting, or perhaps you know, that you are holding yourself back and stopping yourself from earning more? Do you know you should be achieving more? You got the skills, you got the knowledge, you got the experience, but for some reason, you're just not allowing yourself to get there. You can't work out why. This is a very common thing that we work with. It's you seem to have all the skills and do the right things, but just something's getting in the way. So in this short video, I want to take you through the reasons, the very common reasons why this happens that you may not know about. So you can self-diagnose and think, yeah, that's me. I do that one. Or perhaps I do a couple of these, because some of my clients, we found they do 2 or 3 of the things together, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes on about why they're not allowing themselves to earn what they should be earning from their skills and talents. They're good at what they do. So, time to explain why this happens. And you could be stuck in what we call a negative revenue loop. Okay? Negative revenue loop. So I'm going to explain what that is and briefly why it happens, because it's quite complicated why it happens, but it's easier to solve actually. But I'll take you through why it happens, the various different things in the loop that may be the thing that you're doing, and then you'll be able to see what you need to do about it. So let's crack on. So this is what we call a negative revenue loop. And there's 4 parts to it. And it all starts with people undervaluing themselves. If you undervalue yourself, then the chances of you pricing yourself at the right level is unlikely. The likelihood that you under promote yourself, meaning you don't say how good you are. And there's a whole other video on that. So if you check out the YouTube channel, then you'll be able to watch that video when we go into a bit more detail about under promoting, but also under niching, because I have had work with clients who've done 1 of these or 2 of these or all of these, but it tends to start with an undervaluing of ourselves, but it also can be some other things. Even though we know our value, we won't let ourselves promote or price or work with the clients that we should be working with. So this goes for people in a salary and not saying how good you are, going for the right job. So that'll be under promoting yourself or under niching yourself. You're not going for the level you should be. And it's definitely true for people who are in business and have their own businesses. So first one is you underprice. You don't charge the correct value for your services or ask for that right salary. And many people do that. They just won't say, this is what I deserve. So usually that's something like imposter syndrome, or they think that they need to be a level that they are not at to get this next level. Or this is the one that catches people out. You have an upper limit. I've worked with so many people who, when I say, what are you worth? And they go, I don't know. Because many people don't know how to price themselves. This is one of the interesting things I do with my clients, especially if you've been employed for many years and someone else has said, this is your value, this is your price, this is what we're going to pay you and your salary or your bonus. But most people don't get the opportunity to decide their own value. So if you are self-employed or you have a service, you have to go through that exercise. And the first time you ever do that, it can be quite interesting to actually set your own value. But on top of that, you may have an upper limit. Now, I had a client who had an upper limit. I'm not going to say how much or anything too detailed, because client confidentiality is incredibly important in what we do. But they, every month, got to a certain level and they wouldn't go beyond it. And what they did was they sabotaged their sales calls. They sabotaged the amount of money they allowed in because they unconsciously had an upper limit. Now, we do this naturally all of the time. We create limits on what we perceive value to be, meaning if you'll think about perhaps a pair of shoes or the shirt or the trousers you're wearing, whatever it is happens to be, what did you pay for it? And what would you be prepared to pay for those? And if you just go through this very simple exercise, say a pair of shoes, you've got them, and let's say they cost you £70 or $70 or 70 euros. Would you pay 80? Would you pay 85? Would you pay 90? And if you ask yourself this question, what you'll find is there's a very specific number that you'll get to when you'll go, no, that's it. So it's a yes, no thing. £85, $85, 85 euros, 86, 87, no. And it's almost a surprise to some people. It's like, why is it 87, not 86? But there is a limit. And this is how the brain works to make decisions. It's a yes or a no. So obviously everything is different depending on what it is and what you're buying and how you value it compared to somebody else. Everyone's got different value, but we do this for ourselves sometimes. And we say, I'm not worth that. I don't deserve that. And then my client, it all went back to when he was a child about them not allowing them, being allowed to have too much food. Don't be greedy. Don't take too much food off the table. So it's nothing to do with business, but what they had is unconsciously set a limit years later of how much they're allowed to earn on a monthly basis. And whenever they got close to that, it triggered off that voice saying, you can't be greedy, you can't have too much. So what they did, they had a brilliant system. Every month they got to the point and boom, and they just shut themselves down. So do you have an upper limit? Probably do, on what you're allowing yourself to earn. And do you know why you set that limit at that limit? Is it way too low? Because, as my client had, it's just not right in some way. I think of another client that they weren't allowed themselves to earn any more money because what would people think about them? Because of their background. They didn't come from a wealthy family, and therefore, what will people think about them if they earn too much money? So there's many different reasons, but do you have an upper limit? So if we look at the underpricing, this is about knowing your value for what you do and you're confident you're okay to say that. But the second part of that is, have you set an artificial upper limit, which you just won't let yourself go beyond because it's uncomfortable, it's embarrassing, it's wrong, it's not who I am. I don't deserve that. You need to find this out, because if you set a upper limit of X thousand, and then why not X thousand plus one? No, can't have that. Not right. So we explore that every single time. What is the upper limit that you've set, possibly unconsciously, possibly something from your childhood? Is very commonly from your childhood. It's got nothing to do with business or your salary or work in any way, shape or form. But a lot of people have an upper limit and they just bounce off the ceiling of it. So underpricing. Do you value yourself and know your own value, or do you have an upper limit, or perhaps both? Next one is, do you under-promote? You don't let the world know how good you are. And there's the result. You lose revenue because no one knows about you. And this was my one, big time. And this came back from when I was a kid. Something happened at school. I became the shyest kid in school, and I wouldn't feel comfortable telling people how good I was. I did. And I worked really hard. I studied, I practiced. I got really good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. But I felt deeply uncomfortable telling people. So I wanted to be very, very successful without being known. Yeah, work that one out. It's hard to do. So marketing, therefore, suffered. My promotion, my confidence to tell people how good I was, I wouldn't do it. So whether this is within the job, within work, or whether this is marketing for your business, either way, do you stop yourself from telling people how good you are? And as I said, there's another whole video about this. And there's a lot of videos, you know, about imposter syndrome if you go and look on my YouTube channel, but also fearing being called arrogant, feeling that you're going to be criticized for saying how good you are. So you lack the confidence and you're worried about being called arrogant as opposed to just being confident because you're damn well good at what you do. So do you under promote? Third one, are you under niched? So you're not working at your true level. You're working with people or clients or in a role. You're not at the level of the role within the company that you should be. So you're under niched. And I work with people all of the time who have great skills, but they almost like play it safe. because they can't earn too much. They can't ask for too much money. They can't say, I should be working at this level. It's almost like all those people at that level, I'm not who that is. So they stay lower down rather than going for the clients they really could be helping. So are you underniched? So what are you unconsciously allowed to earn? What have you allowed yourself to earn? If you say to people, do you want to be a millionaire? They go, oh, yeah. First instant thing. But in the back of their mind, they go, I'm not that good. I'm not, I'm not that clever. Or what do people think about me? Or, what if I lose it? That's several clients pop into my mind that they've had money in the past and they've lost it. So the last thing they want to do unconsciously is make money and then lose it again, because it hurt so much last time. It was so damaging to them and their families and everything else, that everything was good and they lost it. So your brain tries to protect you and says, well, I'm not going to allow you to earn too much money, because what happens if you lose it again? It was so horrible last time going through that whole problem. You hold yourself back. So what are you unconsciously allowing yourself to earn? So all these problems are caused by what we call a sabotage loop. And in this case, this sabotage loop is the negative revenue loop, where if you don't believe in yourself, you underprice yourself, you underpromote or underniche, or all three, or a combination of. But they're all about knowing your value and confidently being able to say your value, not putting a cap on what you allow yourself to earn. Because people in business, whether it's employing you or hiring you or using your company services, want to know the level that you work at. They want to be confident that you know your stuff, so they can happily employ you and go, yes, this is the person who can solve our problem and help us hit our goals. But if you said things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve this, what will people think about me, what will my parents say? The amount of people who've, they say to me, it's crazy. I'm so worried about what my parents will say to me. But my parents work so hard to help me be successful, and they give me a good education. It just doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense in your head, what you're doing, you want to move forward, you're holding yourself back. Welcome to the world of sabotage loops. And 40% of people have what I call a sabotage loop, when they excessively get in their own way in some way, shape or form. It's a way of our brain accidentally getting in our way. It does it to try and help us, strangely. And if we have a call, I'll explain all that. It'll make this far too long a video otherwise. But one side of you says, come on, you deserve it. You're good enough. You should be priced at this. You should be working at this level. And another part of your brain says, no, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you believe in yourself. I'm not going to let you take that marketing action. I'm not going to let you have that conversation, because, and then loads of fear and problems. If that's you, you've got this conflict. That's actually good. It's not good, but it's good because it means it's solvable. If you've got a conflict and you're arguing with yourself, you're frustrated with yourself and probably a bit fearful, and sabotage, thinking, imposter syndrome, fear of being criticized or fear of being arrogant, all of these things. If you've got an argument inside your head, I can do this, I believe in myself, no you don't, you can't do that, it's too dangerous, then that's a great sign, because we can fix it. So we call it a loop because the conflict into your head keeps going until you break it. And if you're going to create goals and want to go for that job, or set yourself some targets in your business to hit, as soon as you do this, this loop wakes up, this sabotage thinking wakes up, and the argument happens because you set the goal. So sometimes setting goals when you've got this is the worst thing you can do, because it actually wakes it up. But if you've got that conflict, it means it's fixable. That's what we look for, and we know that we can help people, because if you've got an argument in your head, one part of you wants to move forward and the other part holding you back, that means there's something that can be fixed. It's brilliant. So once that sabotage loop is broken, you'll have the confidence, not arrogance, not big-headedness, just a simple confidence to promote yourself, charge for the right fee, go for the right job, go for the right niche, because you actually just know that you're good at what you do. It's not arrogance, it's not big-headedness, it's just, I'm good at this and I can prove it. So, is this making sense? Or if it's making you think, yeah, okay, that's me, then that's what the Alpha program is for. And we've been doing this for many years, 20 years experience doing this. There's a process why we accidentally create it, and therefore, funny enough, we created a process to fix it. So if your sabotage loop is stopping you, my recommendation is get a bit frustrated, get a bit annoyed about how much it costs you, and then just get in touch. Send us an email, inquiry@certainchange.co.uk, or book in a call. There's probably a link somewhere you can click to make it easy. But simply think of it this way. The real you knows your value, knows what you should be doing. You're just frustrated because another part of your thinking is just getting in the way. So which one should be running your life, your business, your career? The real you that knows your capability as an adult, or probably something you picked up on as a child that accidentally sabotaged you? And should that be running your business, your finances, what you can do for your family, where you can take them, and basically taking away the fear of not having enough money because you're underpricing yourself? Simple as that. So if you're fed up with it, get a little bit frustrated, enough frustration just to overcome the fear of getting in contact, we'll have a chat, and then you can decide what you want to do after we've had a conversation. So thanks for your time. Hope this has been useful to you. And I really look forward to helping you get out of this terrible sabotage loop.